black and white thinking is the killer of creativity and is the killer of your ultimate self. All of these rules are gone, and I'm going to figure out like what feels good and right for me. It was the most liberating experience of my life.
We think we need the perfect program that's like specifically made for us, when we just needed to pick the weights up, put the weights down.
We are scrolling through several different emotion storylines and new information within 15 to 20 seconds each. And we think that we're resting. Your brain is working.
I'm here to give everybody the A-OK that your purpose on the planet is actually not just to be helpful all the time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. I'm Kelsey.
Hi, guys. I'm Rachel. We're just, before you got here, bestie, we were just discussing whether you had, did you say you have individual grays? Or
yeah,
you
I have
have
individual grays.
so it's just like one, like rogue, and you're like,
yeah,
nope,
so
not you.
Don't pluck them out, but I do.
Oh, you don't pluck them out?
I do pluck them out, but they say don't pluck them out because they grow
Why?
back twice as much. Honestly, I feel like some of these things are wives' tales. I'm not sure that these are like based in reality, and they're just like something that like took shape and like continued on, and then we just like continued saying them. You're gonna chat it, okay?
Yeah, because now, do I start a new project for this, or I just put it where?
But here's what I just want to say. You've been plucking them out for like a couple of years, probably. Right?
Why? Who said I wanted my business all on the, okay? I don't know.
But you would
maybe
know. Like, all I'm trying to say is, like, you would know if they would, like, it's like, oh my God, as soon as you start doing that, like, you're just gonna get grays all the time. And I feel like you would know by now. So I'm going to override whatever chat says and say, I feel like that's not a thing.
Okay, well, you know what's going to happen
But
is
maybe
I
it
just
is.
put it in. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to, well, perfect that you asked me that. Aren't you?
I know.
Oh my God.
Chat
is there
tries
any
to
way you
hype
can
you up,
shut that
though.
off?
Claude
Because
doesn't
I
hype
don't
you
want
up.
16 compliments. Listen, Google didn't give me a whole bunch of trash compliments to read that are totally fake. You don't even know me.
You know what?
You don't even know me.
I want to tell you this. Chat tries to hype you up on bad ideas too, and I just like that's where I have a problem with it. I'm like, I think it through. I'm like, no, that's not actually a good idea. And you tried to tell me that I should renovate this horrible idea that I put in, and now I've thought it through and decided it's a bad idea. And you tried to tell me it was a good one.
See, this is why it's a dangerous tool for people with ADHD, because it's like, you know, you have this rogue idea at 3 a.m. and normally that can't go anywhere. That can't go anywhere. But now all of a sudden you wake up, you've got 16 chats open, hyping you up for this project. You may have started at 3:30. You don't know. And then the next morning you're like, no.
Bad idea. Bad idea.
Dopamine came in, and
I didn't. That one should have gone back in the bucket and pushed it back down.
Whoa.
Listen, like my partner creates so many agents through Claude, and he's like, I can't wait till my next agent meets my other little agent. They just start working together. I'm like, you're weird. Like,
you know, there's two camps of people. There's people that like befriend their AI, and there's people that are like, yo, you don't even know me. Don't give me a compliment. I don't like that shit. That's fake. And I'm in the latter, but it's according to chat, if you pluck a gray hair, you're removing it from the follicle, but the follicle itself is still alive. So it's just going to grow a new hair on its normal cycle. It's not going to be any faster, but that follicle has already lost its pigment. So no matter what you do, that one's growing back gray.
All right, so
you're just going to be picking the same.
You're going to get twice as many back. I feel like it does not. It's not happening.
That's not true. Says this, and it's like, and you know what? If you want, I can also break down why hair turns gray. It's like, get out of here.
No, we don't need any more.
I don't. You're not my friend. All right.
You're not
But
my
thank you for
friend.
that very robust and
You know what?
scientifically backed answer.
I do want to tell the people, since we're here and we're talking about AI, you
We
can't
are here.
trust, like, guys, listen, you can't just trust AI. That's not factual things. It will feed you non-factual things. And then you have to say, like, wait a minute, that's not true. And then it's like, oh yeah, you're right. I may not be up to date with my research. And it's like, you lied to me. You
But
lied
before I
but it
called you out,
before I called you out, but then
you
it will
tried acting
retract it.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you know
And
why I don't like
I want
it?
people to know that. Like, I want people to know, like, you put something in and you say, "Well, I don't know, I double checked it with chat and it seems to be legit." Like, no, that's actually not a fact.
Let me say this. You know
Mhm.
why I hate chats? You know how, like, when you see, like, your worst qualities mirrored back at you, they're, like, 10 times they make you, like, unnecessarily mad because 'cause you're, like, already mad secretly about that. So me, you know what I do?
What?
I know it for a fact. I know that for a fact. That's, like,
You
what
have been
ChatGPT is
saying
doing.
that
Since I was, like,
for
what, 4 years old?
maybe
I know it
5.
for a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know it for a fact. I
No.
don't. I
This is
don't.
something you guys need to know about Rachel. She will say with ultimate confidence things
Oh,
that
well.
should not be said with ultimate confidence.
No, it's true.
And she'll say, the fact is, and then
Yep.
followed up with an opinion, a straight up opinion. And you'll be
Straight.
like,
Not
that
even
actually
there
is
was no
not.
fact. No, but I make it sound fact and I like to always insert before that I either this is a fact or I know for a fact or like but it's not none of that's true. So this is
It comes
why I
with a
don't
lot of
like when
confidence, though.
it just
You borrowed
it
the
comes
confidence of
out
a
and it's like
mediocre
da
white
da da
man
da
for that.
da and it sounds so confident and I'm like, "Oh, is this like when I say I know it for a fact?" Chat, is that
hmm
and it's like, "Oh, well, actually just now that you've called me out on it, oh, I
I
always
heard
make
some
him a
more
man."
recent research, and turns out you're right. I'm like, well, this guy's not dead, and he's like, oh well, yeah, actually, more recent.
So
And you're like,
you
why are you
know,
trying to
you're
play me?
absolutely right. It kills you with compliments when
Yeah,
that's
thanks
my
for
bad
bringing
on
that
that
up.
one. Thank you for yeah, it's like, no, you can't do that. It's a gaslight.
What if I
That's
had left? I would be spreading
a
that.
well,
At least we know the older generations, they're getting killed with AI right now. They
they're
are
getting killed
literally
out
being
there.
gaslit out of the house with AI. And it's
Listen,
like, I
it's
feel really
evolution.
bad. Like, I know you got to evolve, but listen, the boomers have hung around. There's a lot of boomers listening to the podcast, guys. I do love you too. You've done a lot of good work in this world. But listen, you guys have you guys are here. You guys are younger than previous generation, or you're acting younger. You're more involved. You're more aware. And AI shit has really it's got a hold of you a little bit. And it's hard to come back from that. We've had to say to mom, listen, there's some scams out here. People getting scammed with AI
Mhm.
stuff they didn't know
Mhm.
existed. And it's just like you got to be careful.
I, for a
fact
whole
fact
day,
check's hard
thought that there was a whole bunch of
for a whole day.
bunnies that were jumping on a trampoline. For a whole day,
You
I was like,
did?
"Did you see those bunnies jumping on the trampoline in the
Oh my
backyard?"
god.
I was like, I'm showing everyone, and my husband I get to my husband, he's like, "No, no, that's AI. That's not a
No,
real
no.
video." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Mm." But wouldn't
Now
it be
imagine
cool
you, but
though if
on boomer
bunnies
style. Yeah.
No, I know, but, like, sometimes you just wanna believe is the problem. Because I really like the
It's true.
idea of bunnies at the nighttime going in your backyard and jumping on a trampoline because
I
that
love that
is
idea. Someone who thought of that was like, "You know what would be really cool?"
mm, and I
Or did
agree.
AI just
It
think of it? I
was
don't
really
know.
cool, and so I just want that to be real, and, I know for a fact that it is.
I know. I know. There you are. I know for a fact. We do have a topic for you guys today, and we're going to talk to you about something super controversial other than AI.
Mm.
But it's honestly things that are making your life harder that you think are making it easier. And this is some tough truths to
Ooh.
hear because there's a lot that we put in place. And I listen, my partner is a wonderful man, but he can get
Everything before the but. You know that rule? Everything you
Listen,
say before the but is bullshit.
it's
That's
bullshit.
what they say. I'm just saying.
He can get hot on a topic, right? And then, can't it's difficult for him to move past. He's got a hyper focus, and that serves really well in a lot of things. But for some things, it's like, you gotta move on. You gotta move on from that, and it's not working for you, and that's not the person that you are, and we need to work with the person that you are, okay? And so that's something that we try to work on together and figure out just strategies around it. And I'm sure every person, uh, neurodivergent and neurotypical people struggle with this, and find your strategies that actually work with who you are, like who you actually are, not just like, okay, there's a version of you and you'd like to be them. And there, that works in a lot of ways, because you can, start to practice, what you can whittle down, like what are the things that that person does, and then maybe implement those into
Sure, we can
your life.
strive.
We
We
can
can
strive, but listen,
strive.
it has to work with the person that you are. And, we'll get into like some ideas of like multitasking and how it goes into your everyday life and how it is in fitness and how it is in your diet. But the most important part of all of these things is that when you don't have consistency and when you don't have kind of a flow to how things are going, it's actually hurting you more than it's helping you to try and, like, start, stop, put this in, and there's so much information happening out there, and it's really hurting people's lives in fitness and relationships.
It's so true, and I think that these are things that when we start counting them down, you're gonna realize are like, "Oh, shoot, like, that I thought that might be, like, best practice," or, like, "I've seen that work for other people," or, "That just seems like what successful people are up to," and I think that the
Remember
biggest
when there was, like,
trap.
all successful people make their beds? And, like, there was, like, a trend with this, and then, like, all successful people aren't having coffee in the morning, and people were like, "Yeah,
Oh my
coffee is."
god. But I'll die.
But Stephen Bartlett says it has to not, and it's like, "Whoa, buddy, like, number 1, that's not you, and, like, how is that working for you? Like, how is that coming into your everyday life?"
So, we're going to present you with a countdown of things that you may or may not have tried or put in place or heard of as best practices that you think are there to help you, but may secretly be sabotaging you. And we're going to give you permission to throw them out, keep them, decide what works for you, and actually set in place some best habits that are personalized and for you and aren't going to serve anybody else but you, and they're going to actually work. So, counting down our top 5, but Kelsey added 3 more. Well, you didn't really add 3 more. It's, you know, we don't like to stick inside a box. It's just I
This is
said,
the
like, "Let's do
box.
5," and you were
This
like,
is
"How
us.
about an odd number, like 7?" And I was like,
I really don't do well in boxes,
no."
and here's the kicker on that. This has been like, realizing that about myself has been the most liberating, probably the most liberating thing of my life, is realizing that, like, stop trying to fit into the boxes because that's your cage.
Ooh.
Just saying. And, like, I tried for so many years, and this, like, goes right along with the habits that you wanna put in place. I tried for so many years to try to fit into the box of, like, what success means, what, like, daily life means, what relationships mean, what the healthy, home, whatever. All of those things, and, like, what should calm you down. It's everything. It's riddled in everything that we do. And this is what we learn at a very young age. Like, if you do these things this way and, like, check it off, then, like, you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. And that black and white thinking is the killer of creativity and is the killer of your ultimate self, because you're not that. Life isn't that way. You are not some other person that wrote this one book one time and they figured that works for them and it must work for you. So, like, that's the path you should follow. Like, as soon as I said, like, all of these rules are gone, and I'm going to figure out, like, what feels right and good and right for me. It was the most liberating experience of my life. So, no, I didn't stick to 5.
Born 4 years and 4 days apart, same genetic compiling, and I love a good box. I'm gonna be honest. Can I
Loves
find a
the
box and
box.
put myself I love it. I love it. I
Mhm.
love structure, and I love being told what the parameters are because I'm gonna thrive there. So, like,
Mhm. "What are the
hey,
rules here?" I'm like, "I think we should make them up." She's like, "I think we should read the directions." I'm like,
I've already gone
"Oh."
through the directions 3 times, and you're like, you've started putting the IKEA furniture together, and, um, we didn't
100%.
even separate the parts into very unique piles. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do 5, and you do as many as you feel, boo boo, okay?
I
Um,
have a daughter who loves the box, by the way.
you know what?
She's
That's
like,
what
"What's
you
the
get.
order? What's the order we're gonna do that in?" And I'm like, "Well, we could do," and she's like, "No, like, for the day."
That's
Okay,
what you
cool.
get, and I know that this is just the little trickery of life because I have a neurodivergent non-box fitter. So I know that this is designed just to make us better, and
And made
somebody's
to make us
plan is
better.
like, "Hey, you don't understand this now, but you gonna."
What you gonna
So, counting down the Rachel's nice clear cut box of 5. Number 5, I think is now, this may not be what you think, but this is what I think is one of the things that you have put in place that to help you, but maybe is holding you back. Giving yourself too many options.
I 100% agree, and
You do? Because
science
I thought you would be a person that would be like, "Don't limit me. I need all the, like, creativity
I reserve the
and
right to
stuff."
pivot at any moment, but,
Oh, yeah.
but I do think this is one of the things that has okay, so when you have a ton of micro decisions to make, it leads to fatigue. It leads to decision fatigue, but it also leads to that mental emotional fatigue that then you can't do other things. Like, you just don't physically have the energy, the capability to do other things, and this is where I think people get caught up with calling themselves lazy, and they're not lazy, they're overstimulated, and they have made too many decisions today, and I think that people do themselves a disservice by leaving all of those options on the table, and it's really hard for some of us. Like, I do this in my house, like, I have trouble throwing things out, I have trouble throwing clothes out because I'm like, "I want the options," but in reality, I walk into my closet and I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. Like, and so I do believe in this. So when it comes to the gym, and I recently purged a ton of things out of necessity, but here we are. But I think that when it comes to like some of these decisions and options that we're giving ourselves, like if you want to lay out 2 gym outfits and say like, "Well, I'm just gonna have like just these 2," that's okay. Or just maybe 1 the night before, but just don't leave it to chance. Don't leave the, "Well, I'll make it." I think this is the one of the biggest things when it comes to health and fitness. We can talk about other ways, but this is the biggest mistake people do when it comes to options at the gym. They don't go in with a plan, they don't go in with a time. You're not going to make it if you don't go into fitness with one of those with both of those 2 things. You need a time, not just like, "I'm gonna make it to the gym tomorrow, maybe in the afternoon." No, what time? What time are you leaving? What time do you put your shoes on? Like, don't leave it to at some point, and then it's like, maybe in another half hour, maybe in this. No. Do you go to the gym at 4:30? Mark it in your calendar, put it in your calendar. You go from this thing to them, and that if you actually wanna do it, give it a time and don't go in like, "Well, I'll figure it out when I get there." Too many decisions. If you're going to a class that isn't led, or if you're going just to the gym, then it doesn't have, like, a structure to it, you need to go in with a plan.
Preferably print it out. I mean, if you want it on your phone, I just don't like it on your phone because then you're looking at your phone, but, and then, like, the other distractions come up, but, like, for real, I also see that people do this a ton with nutrition. What am I gonna make for dinner tonight? Ready? Here I go. Healthy recipes, quick weeknight. You know what happens? I end up with 12 things, not sure what they all look good. Will this one like this one? Will this one like this one? You know what? I'm just going to order takeout. And there we go. So, honestly, like taking down the amount of decisions and just saying, like, more is not always better. I personally feel that the confusion is that more choices equals freedom, but I actually think it just equals friction instead of freedom. So I would say when we're habit building things around fitness, around nutrition, around daily living, we know that the number one tip is to eliminate friction. Choices are friction. So if you're wanting to improve your gym habits, your nutrition, your life habits, take out the friction, take out the choices and just say like I have this workout and I'm doing this all week no matter what. Or I have this meal prep here and I'm not going to look up other options. I'm making this one here. And I really think that taking down that decision fatigue is a huge help. Just like
Well,
to not be
here's the
so
framework.
overstimulated.
Should not be so overstimulated because what we do is we put fitness sometimes on a pedestal. And I'll be honest with you about this. It's more mundane. The more you
True.
build it up to be like, this is the game changer. I'm going to go for 2 hours. This is going to be like, you put it on a pedestal and you do the same with nutrition. You build it up. It needs to be more mundane. This is something I repeat over and over. It doesn't have to be the best workout. It doesn't have to be the best meal. It needs to be just something that I'm doing on a consistent basis that can't be the best all the time. You don't give 100% to everything you do 7 days a week. You just don't. You give 100% to brushing your teeth because you need to think about fitness and nutrition in the same way. It is something that I do on a daily, on a weekly basis, and I repeat it over and over. And it doesn't have to be tippity top notch, but I have my non negotiables in there. Today, we're recording on a Thursday. On Thursday, we have meatballs. That sounds boring to everyone. I know that, but meatballs are in the crock pot and I know what's for dinner. like, and it is a
Sis
very,
knows
like,
what's for
that
dinner.
eases.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna come on and be like, "Oh, we making
Mm-hmm.
pasta yet?" And like the only like variation is a bow tie or is it spaghetti? Like that's just like, and it's got broccoli in there too. Don't worry, guys. I have my non-negotiable when it comes to having the veggie in there. But I just think that like the framework of these things being more mundane is really where you could start like taking the pressure off of like the meals and the workouts and all of these things. Like it's just actually more mundane because you're going to repeat this for the majority of the week until the
Ever.
rest of your life. It's not these fads.
I love that.
So like
Take it off the
let's
pedestal.
just
I
be like,
love that.
"Hey you.
Thanks for getting in touch with the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast.
We love your questions and adore hearing from you.
Leave us a hello,
A burning question,
feedback,
or anything else you want to share with us on the podcast.
We will play your message live on air if we can.
Thanks for being an amazing friend. Stay safe and moving.
Okay. The second, wait, did I count back or what did I do?
I'm not
on?
sure.
Okay.
You said a countdown, but I think you said one. But here we are.
All right. I'm going back.
Hey, number 4
on our
list.
Countdown. All right. Number 4 on our list. But we don't know. Is there 5? Is there 7? We don't know anything. But all I know is that if you think that de-stressing with a screen is a thing that is going to serve you on a consistent basis and help you be less stressed, science says not so much.
Science says no, it doesn't. I'm tying this one into one of mine so that we're also not going over. But it's the multitasking that you kind of think about during your doom scrolling. it's this constant need to, like, be busy or do something, and, like, that makes you feel like you're kind of, like, accomplishing something, so maybe when you're doom scrolling, you're like, "Well, I'm just looking for, like, recipes," or, "I'm just looking for, something else that is going to I'm gonna get something done between this in between time," and really, that's not actually serving you, it's not making you more productive, it's not working in the way that you think it is, because if you actually just set aside 5, 10 minutes to do the thing that you need to do on your phone, you would be more productive than trying to do it in between going to the bathroom or whatever it is that you're doing that you think you're getting it done.
See, mine's not like that. I don't use the screen to, like, multitask in between things. I use it of, like, I'm totally overstimulated, I'm cooked, I need to turn her off, go away, goodbye, turn off all brain functioning, and how I'm gonna de-stress
I think a
is
lot of
I'm
people
just
can
gonna look
relate
at
to that.
this. I'm gonna rot my brain right now. Um all the science says that that
The internet
using
doesn't de-stress you.
so this is what I'm saying. All of the research says that the TV, internet, whatever form, whatever your poison is not resting. It's not recovery. It is mental stimulation. That's not relaxing. And that's why, when you get out of the like, okay, so you come home, you gotta, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I just gotta sit here with my phone for like the next half hour and just like come down from the day. And a half an hour never stays a half an hour. It always becomes 45. It always becomes an hour. It always becomes an hour and a half. And then afterward, you don't get the feeling of de stressed or relaxed or ready to
Are you
continue
more
on to the day.
energized?
Come
Do
on,
you put
guys.
it
We're
down and
all
you're like,
lying to ourselves.
"Ready." Yeah.
It's
I feel that this is a really tough one because I think that this is so ingrained within us because I think for many people, this is what you grew up with. This is how you grew up. When your parents said to you, "You're just gonna sit down and relax and watch a movie," that's the
chill out.
language.
Mhm.
Yes. That's the
Chill out. I'm
language,
gonna
and
put a
that's
screen
the
in front of me.
pathways, yeah, that we've built to think that we are relaxing. And if you haven't listened to our sleep episode, um, it was a fantastic one because she talked a good amount about, relaxing the brain and decompressing and the ability to process information and the need to for our brain to process information, which is why it's waking you up during the night because we're not having that processing time. And the same goes for screens and decompressing, processing, and new information coming in. It's incredible to me that we think, and I'm in this too. Don't I'm not sitting on my boat soapbox being like, y'all guys think you're decompressing. Um, all of us do it, but it's incredible to me that we think we are scrolling through several different emotion storylines and new information within 15 to 20 seconds each, and we're getting all of that information in and we think that we're resting. Your brain is working. Your brain is working hard to process that information, to process that emotion you saw, to process the visuals that you saw. Maybe it's educational, maybe it's like emotion driven, maybe it's just a laugh. Like you're going through so many different things and they're all like 15 to 30 seconds worth of like new storylines
It's
with
wild,
different people.
and there's a whole bunch of research being done, currently on what that does to the brain, that constant, filtering of multiple different emotions from all over the world and multiple different storylines and all of these things. But here's what we can tell you. That might feel like numbing out. But numbing out and recharging are 2 different things. So just know what you're doing when you're saying like, "Well, I just need a minute. I just need to doom scroll for a half an hour before I can like come back to the world." You aren't recharging. If you want to recharge, then you need to do something that is in that category. Now, things like, activities you enjoy, any physical movement, like actually resting, like, having a 10-minute cat nap. Like, these are things that are actually recharging, eating some calories, um, numbing out on a screen is totally different. So when you come back from doing that activity and you don't feel recharged, let's just not like wonder. You know what I mean? And then I think that like we think of that as helping us to like, okay, I just gotta process this day and I need a minute to rot my brain. And it's like, okay, but that's actually hurting you and you're coming back less recharged than when you went in. So if you're gonna do that, just know that's all. Knowledge is
100%,
power.
just know, let's, like, rewire those pathways into what what we are associating with actually recharging is things that will recharge you, and I think that language is the start of that, in inserting that idea of, like, "No, I'm not just, like, rotting out and that's recharging me," that never works. It literally just doesn't work. So, when we start to say, like, "If you wanna do that, though, listen, if you wanna do that, and you're like, I'm just gonna doom scroll for a little bit, that's totally fine. Let's
You
just call it what it
chose.
is. You're not yeah, you chose. Like
Cool.
that's fine. But
Cool.
let's not call it recharging. Maybe let's insert a different time that isn't that one into things that actually recharge you so that we can rework that whole pathway of like the idea of what we're doing to recharge.
Yeah, because then we're just never recharging. Because if we're
Yeah.
calling something that isn't serving us, then we're not making the actual time. Because you can say, like, hey, I'm going to doom scroll for a minute and then I'm going to go for a walk because I know I need both. You know what I mean? But like, if we think that one is serving a purpose that it isn't, then we don't leave room for the other one. Number three, this is so millennial. Don't you think this is so millennial? Like
Yeah.
this habit? Okay, everything's I listen, we were all told we're very special flowers, and I believe you are. Okay, girl? You are a unique flower. You are special. But the amount that we think things need to be over customized to us, I think is inhibiting any progress and productivity because we think we need the perfect program that's like specifically made for us, for our body, when all we just needed to go, we just needed to pick the weights up, put the weights down, then pick them up again. And we spent all of our time customizing the thing to like our exact hormone levels and stuff. And then we just like never did it. You know what I mean?
I think this is, in my personal opinion, I know this for a fact. In my personal opinion, I think this is a byproduct of access to a lot of information, a lot of granular information,
It's true.
and when it comes out, it's like cutting the grass when your house is on fire. Like you could find some validity to some of this information and customization and all of that. You could find some validity to it. But what I want to tell you is this. Is it more important to waste all of your time customizing something to to exactly you and not doing the thing or doing the thing? Like, because
Maybe
we
it's
don't
not
have the
completely
time.
custom, but you did
Yeah,
it.
but you did it. Like, we just don't have all of that time, and it just feels like sometimes it's an information and I just really feel for people when they feel so paralyzed by this information overload, and they're like, "Well, there's some validity to that." Totally understand that. But the fact is when we over customize something and overcomplicate it, we are less likely to get it done. And this goes back to my point about it being mundane. Some of the most important things that you need to do on a daily basis are very mundane. But that doesn't mean that they are less important, but they are very mundane. And I think that if we start treating them as such, that we will stop paralyzing ourselves with how important they are and then being like, "This is so important. I'm not getting any fitness and I'm gonna be an old grandma who can't get up off the floor." It's like, "Whoa, that went fast."
I mean,
When we coulda just
take it back to the toothbrush. I mean,
yeah.
do are we all out there with our own formulized toothpaste that is specific to our microbiome and our like, listen, you found a toothbrush you like, it doesn't make your gums bleed most of the time, and you
Yeah.
use like whatever they sell at the grocery store. You get it done, man. You get it done.
Listen,
Now, are
20
your
step
teeth
skincare routine or, like, are we, like, getting the makeup off, we're washing our face, we have this amount of time, and we're putting some lotion in. Love that for you, baby. That's better than going to bed with a face full of makeup.
I can assure you because 'cause I've done both. Number 4 or 2, because I don't know if we're going up or down.
We are
Um,
going down too.
okay. Okay,
And
2.
then we're gonna just do, like, -1.
-1 for Kelsey's, which she added at the last minute. Number 2 on our list of things that you think may be helping you, but actually could be hurting you. Um, we are so obsessed with eliminating stress. It's gotta go. All of it. It's like it's like millennial moms once like springtime comes, throw it all away, right? Can't let anyone know we sit. But
I sent that to my realtor. I just
throw out the couches. But here's the thing. We're obsessed with eliminating stress, but a stress-free life doesn't exist. So
nor
perhaps,
should it, to be honest with you.
nor
We
should it,
need
right? Because
if we
that
had a
is the
completely stress-free life, like, we would have no growth. It would
there's no
just be
growth.
this, like, m constant, like, every day in and day out, and, like, I really wish we could start and there are some stressors that people go through that you shouldn't have to, gotta
No,
say that.
100%.
Um but at the same time, this everyday overall obsession with eliminating any friction or stress in your life is totally a millennial thing for the
Mm.
snowplows, and I do wanna say that I feel like, it's hurting our kids that we are trying to eliminate their ability to handle stress, to be resilient, because you don't get resilience without stress. You don't get resilience without being challenged. And we're not only eliminating challenges from ourselves, we're eliminating challenges for the people we love the most.
It's
Don't worry, I'll just
I
get that
wanna
for
say
you.
I wanna just relate to everybody on how hard it is when, like, your literal heart is walking outside your body, and then it's like, "Hey, wanna, like, drag that through the mud a little bit?" And you're like, "No, no, please don't. I'd rather not drag my heart through the mud." But, the fact is, that's the only way.
That's
It's
the
the
only way you build a
only
resilient brain. So here's what happens. If you just the quick side tangent, if every time you are eliminating if every time that the brain is introduced with stress, you go to this like we need to eliminate, we need to remove that, you will never build a resilient pathway. It cannot happen. So you can't build the next thing, which is courage and resilience and bravery. Those are all things we want, right? But it cannot happen if we don't have this friction point of stress. It can one cannot go to the other. So you only teach and like this is something obviously I think about all the time because I'm currently building a brain. Is like you can't get them to move to the next thing without fear and without stress. Like that they have to build the next connection to bravery. And if they start to build those connections with only fear, which is the other way, if you have stress only associated with fear, then what are we doing?
well, um, we are scared all the time and anxious, and we have a lot of mental health issues. So,
Everyone's like
when we're thinking about when we're thinking about eliminating stress, yes, stress causes cortisol. Yes, we know that there is too much of anything. But what I would encourage us all to do, rather than framing it in the way of, I've got to get rid of this thing, is that Instead, maybe we want to expand our capacity because there is no getting rid of that thing and you wouldn't want to anyways. So rather than spending all of our time and energy on elimination of stress and taking away any of the obstacles, perhaps if we spent a little bit more time on expanding our capacity for stress, then all of a sudden we don't respond to these smaller stressors in the same way. And also, bigger stressors we're far more prepared for. So, maybe the idea, of the panic cortisol culture, and we discussed this on another podcast, is that the goal isn't to be stress free. It's just to be a person that can handle stress when it comes because it's gonna.
It's going to, inevitably. And I think if we start to change our language and our approach to stress, I just believe that we will all we'll start to talk about it differently. We'll start to move differently in this world. And sometimes that comes with just like using the alternative. Like if you think to yourself today, like, I'm too stressed to go to the gym. Well, it's really stressful to be unhealthy, to live an unhealthy lifestyle. It's really stressful, and it adds a lot of stress to yourself, and the people around you want you to be the healthiest version of you possible. So maybe if we look at those 2 hand in hand and then say, "Well, I'm gonna get a little movement in today." Again, take it off the pedestal. Then we move towards this, like, "I just can't do any of that. I'm too stressed." Well, is the alternative also stressful, just in a longer term run? Like,
Not only that, but there's a missed opportunity for building resilience there because if we just shut down the immediate response of shutdown when we feel anxious, I can't move, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything that I wanted to do. I have no more goals. I'm too stressed. Then we've essentially missed an opportunity to build resilience. So that reframing is really important there.
we're gonna take a quick break to get you a whole bunch of friends.
Do you like friends?
We have about 80,000 amazing women friends, more than that, in one space that can't wait to cheer you on in your fitness journey.
Whether it's lifting you up, getting you motivated to get to the gym, complimenting your outfit, we have gathered 80,000 of the best women on the planet and put them all in one place for your friendship pleasure.
Honestly, I would just, like, pull out some of the amazing quotes from the group because, like, you would think groups like this, you're like, I don't know." And I'm telling you, once you enter in the door, the virtual door, because you can do this anywhere, that you will find the most supportive community you have ever known, and it's called Stronger Together by CVG. You can find us on a Facebook group. It's a closed group, women only, and you gotta get in there.
Get in there. It's so inspiring. Join us today. And number one, notwithstanding the negatives that are soon to come. The number one thing that I would like to put forth as something you think may be helping you, but is secretly potentially hurting you, and I think this one I don't have to say potentially, um, the saving of the calories. Imma save those. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to put off eating as long as I possibly can so I can save it for something else that's gonna happen later. Um, I know it feels like control. For some people, it even feels like flexibility because they don't have to, like, stop and eat in their day. Like, "Oh my god," I'll save it for later. But what we are actually doing to our metabolism, to our hunger cues, to our hormones, like it's a whole ass mess. And I would really, really encourage people to please stop banking calories for the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the month or whenever you've decided that you deserve them. And please budget the calories appropriately. Okay. We're not going on an Amazon shopping spree at the end of the month. Okay. Instead, we're just budgeting every day to make sure that we have appropriate levels of energy, appropriate metabolism function, and these are the these are the things that get us so far off track when it comes to binge eating and on and off the wagon and all of these things that don't lead to consistency. Please, no more saving calories. What are you
I
saving
think
them for?
I think this is a really big one for our listeners. This is a really big one for women. This is a really big one for women who are in the perimenopausal, menopausal stages of their life, and really getting them to wrap their minds around the fact that they are hurting their progress and not helping it. So, like, if your only goal is to um, decrease body fat around your midsection, you're hurting your goal. Your goal, I'm not just talking about your energy. Yes, you're hurting that too, but you're hurting your goals by doing this kind of like repetitive behavior of like, I know people that I know will do this, like they're going out to dinner later and they're not going to eat all day and then so that they can eat what the good stuff at dinner. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, so you are going to not meet your protein goals for the day because that's impossible. You're going to have low energy going into this and then the next day. You make poor decisions later and you're going
You're
to
gonna way overeat.
overeat at night, yes.
Yeah.
But, like, and then your bank for long term is, like, you are consistently not meeting protein goals for the day, which is then slowing your metabolic rate because, like, your metabolism is like, "What the fuck? She doesn't eat all day, then she eats, like, a bunch of shit that you've been, like, saving up for." And it's like but none of that is feeding your goals of healthy muscle building, you're keeping a solid metabolic rate, keeping your energy stores, your hormones, all of those things are wreaking havoc because you've decided that you are going to be hungry all day as a form of control so that you can binge eat later. When we break it down, I know this made sense at one point, and I'm not like knocking
I've done
anyone
it.
for this.
Done
I
it.
think we all have, and at
Mhm.
some point in the simplicity of diet culture, this made sense. But it actually doesn't make sense for your body, and so many people are seeing, especially later in life, that like, this doesn't really work the way it used to, and I'm really holding on to a ton of body fat right in my midsection here, and you're wondering why. And we have this podcast that
So, we have this
that that
podcast.
tells you why. And I just want to like I'm empathizing with you guys right now, but like this is not leading to consistency. This is leading to yo-yos and this isn't building in this like love and nurturing relationship with your body where you fuel your body, where we think about our energy stores, where we eat an appropriate amount of protein, we get an appropriate amount of fiber, we take our poops regularly. Like like you this is the mundane shit that we're really getting towards, and it doesn't happen with this like stop, run, stop. And that's what it feels like when you're just like overeat, like not eating, and then you're eating a bunch and then you're not again. It's like it's all over the place.
I couldn't agree more. We're going into the negative one. Wait, do you
These are just quick. Negative one,
Okay.
saying yes to everything. You think this is helping you, but it's really not. You think you're being helpful, you're being present, but in reality, you're building resentment and burnout. Like you
You
think that
don't
you're
have
just
to
like, well,
do
I'm
this is
just
I know, but women.
That's what I mean, and it's like you think you're being helpful, but honestly, being helpful would being a not burnt out version of yourself that has energy, that makes time for her, that is present during those moments and isn't just like dragging a, third rate version of Kelsey to the place that you said you're gonna show up in a way that you want to. And if you can't, stop saying yes to everything. You don't
You
need to
know
be
what
on every
too? I have a,
PTO shit. You don't need to be
no.
all-star mom. You don't need to do all of these things. Like some of it you just got to go like, not for me.
I'm glad somebody's gonna do that, but it's not gonna be me. And also just here
Love
to
that
give
for you
every
guys.
I'm here to give everybody the A-okay that your purpose on the planet is actually just not just to be helpful all the time. Just
No.
just want to clear that up for
Mm-mm.
anybody who might think like, you know, what else will I do if I'm
You
not
know
being
what
helpful? It's
actually is
actually
really
not your
helpful?
job.
I'm gonna tell you what's really helpful. Living a life that you hope to see for others in yourself. That's
That's
very helpful. That actually, like, starts to change the mind, like, how we view all of these things. That is really the power that I wanna see. Negative 1.5
oh,
is this, like, overtraining and taking, like, this idea of no days off, and even if you're not, like, overtraining, but you have guilt around taking rest days when you want to or when you need to, um, eliminate that guilt because consistency is where results happen. So when you are consistently going, not just doing this like, well, I'll go for 2 hours, then I'm so sorry I can't go all this time. Like that's overtraining. That's not what we're looking for. The reality that comes from that is just inflammation, stalled progress, hormone disruption, and the same thing that happens that you do with your nutrition. It's all the same, guys. It's the consistency over long periods of time. And that consistency looks like rest days, lots of water, sleep, these things that just go like, no, this is my day that I rest. I don't need to, just because I'm on one this week, go 7 days. Because then next week I go one or none. That's what I'm talking about. I want just a consistent flow of movement that is built into your everyday, like brushing your teeth.
I hope that we were able I gotta say, I was really brave today because
You're so brave.
Kelsey hasn't eaten lunch,
I haven't. It's late
and
in the day.
it's eh, if you've never done a podcast with Kelsey when she hasn't eaten lunch yet, oh
And
Lord,
that's not
Lord,
an
Lord.
intentional delayed eating. I'd like to be very clear about this. I am a person, number one, that's very busy. That's not an excuse. But I struggle with hyper focus. And when I get into something, I can like look up and be like, oh no, I have to pee. I haven't got like that is something that I work on. And sometimes even set reminders that like, do you have to pee? Ding, 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 and then I'm like, "Oh my god, my bladder's gonna explode."
Oh my gosh, I
I'm
really
glad someone
do.
told me. Like,
Siri,
like,
remind
it's
me to pee and
weird.
eat. So, you guys, I really, really hope
Thank you for your
thank
bravery.
well, I feel I deserve a little something, something because you were awfully mean to me in the beginning. And okay, so this is our list of 6.5 things we need to say. 6.5 things that you thought were helping but are actually hurting. Share these with a friend. Get on our socials, get in the comment section and tell us one thing that you have found that you felt like, oh, this is super helpful, but like actually you realized, holy shit, this is destroying my progress. And we will see you guys next week.